So I'm releasing music every month this year, and I wanted to show you what I made in February. This is a song called Something Less Than Love. It's my name is Sheps, and I wrote, produced, mixed and mastered this song in this little room. It's a music studio I rent over in East London. I started writing the song after a conversation with a friend, and we were talking about somebody we knew and saying that they were scared to fall in love, and it was a shame because they're a lovely person. I'd started writing down some lyric ideas. Following on from the lyric ideas, I basically tried to shape the production around what I was thinking the song would be. So the very first thing I did was I came in and I wanted to create this kind of ethereal, dreamy vibe. I made a 3-track loop, which is essentially 2 guitars, 1 pan left and 1 pan right, both electric. And then there is a vocal straight down the middle from me of an ooh. And it goes like this. So I knew what key the song was going to be in then. As a result, I wanted to add some piano and some acoustic guitars, as those are 2 instruments I play. So the addition of those 2 brings the sound to this. Following on from this, I took basically some of the lyric ideas that I had in my phone and started writing a chorus. That chorus came together to add the vocals to it. It sounds like this. This moment, won't be scared to indulge. You'll learn to feel something more than love. Won't have to fear being hurt. I was talking to someone the other day about the fact that a lot of music producers want to gatekeep the things that they use. And I said, that's awful. So here's what I'm going to do. I'll show you my exact vocal chain for this song. There's about 10 plugins roughly. So it starts with an instance of Melodyne. This is just to basically tidy up any vocal bum notes that I've hit. I follow that up with Auto-Tune just to make sure everything's smooth, and you get a lot of the pop sound that you hear in pop music now. It will come from Auto-Tune. The way that the voice moves between notes. People don't really realize that actually a lot of that comes from Auto-Tune. So would fully recommend using it, not just because you need it for your tuning, but because it's essentially a key to the pop sound that we have right now that's modern pop. Followed it up with a couple of UAD plugins. So you've got equalizer at the top, just boosting a little bit of 10k and attenuating some 5k. As well as that, you've also got an 1176 compressor. It's not doing anything too drastic. I find that that's the best thing to do here. You basically don't want to overcook it, otherwise it would make your voice sound really squished and horrible. After that, you've got an instance of Sound Toys Decapitator, one of my absolute favorite distortions. Again, doing very, very light work there. Then you have a Waves de-esser, just a little bit of sibilance to take out of the vocal as well as that. I will just show you the next 3. It's a CLA 3A compressor. It's really simple. It just has 2 knobs, so there's one for peak conjunction and one for gain. I'm just doing about 0 to 3 dB reduction here. It's just very, very subtle. Fresh Air, which I think is a bit of a secret sauce, it's basically adding 8 to 12k to your vocal. Again, it's that really breathy tone that we hear in a lot of pop music. So I've got that in, and then I follow it up with a final Waves de-esser just to take a bit of the sibilance out and the highness that comes out of that. So the soloed vocal for the song is going to sound like this. And all you've got is this moment, won't be scared to indulge. You'll learn to feel something more than love. So you can see everything's just doing a little bit of work. It's not about loading up one plugin with loads and loads of stuff to do. You just want to evenly spread the work that they're doing, and then you're all good. So normally I like to fill up songs with drums, but with this one I tried my best to keep it restrained and stripped back. All that we've got is one percussion element that's just a kind of hit. I think I've called it anvil for that reason. And then a shaker. And that's it. So I've actually never used like an ambient sound that goes all the way through a song before. I'd started playing around with this idea of like having it as like a kind of forest, and there's this cuckoo bird sound that I found that just sounds like this, and it's just really nice. It kind of feels like you're walking through a forest. It's quite subtle throughout the song. I think it's also sidechains against the vocals to make sure that there's enough room for my voice, but I think it's most noticeable at the end of the song. And yeah, again, it's just about kind of building a soundscape and building something that you know is interesting. So when I got to the mixing stage for this song, I'd been playing around with a few different kind of tricks and things that I'd learned from YouTube. One of them I absolutely love, which I learned from a guy called Streaky, who has a YouTube channel. It's basically parallel EQing the vocal against the instrumental. So here, you'll see that this Pro Q3 instance has a few cuts in it that are all with dynamic EQ, and they're dipping. And what it's essentially doing is dipping the instrumental out of the way of the key parts of the vocal. So when I press play now, you can see that the vocal is actually making the instrumental dip just a little bit, and it's only doing 3 dB. It's just very, very subtle. Essentially, this is a really good way to tie together both your vocal and your instrumental, so that's what I've tried to do here. This is also the first time that I've mastered one of my own songs. I'd use this plugin called L1 Limiter. It's obviously based off the L1 plugin that FabFilter have. It's just doing very slight kind of threshold and a little bit of work. You'll see it's only like 2 to 3 dB of taking off the top, but it's just a slight limiter just to bring everything up. So anyway, you place all those elements together and it sounds like this. What is this moment? Won't be scared to indulge. You'll learn to feel something more than love. Won't have to fear being hurt with all your feelings involved. That's how you'll know that you feel something more like love. Thanks for listening and have a wonderful day, I suppose. Yeah, that's the one.